This is a 1983 John Deere 165 Hydro. This is a Mickey Uni carburetor, the original carburetor that came on it. I have been using this lawnmower for years. It was my dad's lawnmower who bought it new. At a certain point it started leaking gas. I couldn't find where it was leaking gas, but it was leaking somewhere from the carburetor. I took the carburetor off. I bought a new cheap eBay Chinese carburetor. It leaked in the same place. So I've interchanged these carburetors several times and took this one apart and cleaned it once. Today I ran the motor and removed this piece, which sits on top of the carburetor. You'll notice I put washers in here to make up for this space here and here. And then this breather sits on top of that. So when this carburetor is leaking, it's hard to tell where the leak is coming from. But where it was coming from was from this hole right here. Right there. Now this carburetor has a tube on it that comes out of a hole in a similar location. It was also leaking gas through that tube. I took my carburetor apart again, and I went from the bottom and I took this bolt off. Now this bolt is located right up under here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I hope you can. Directly, I'm going to use this carburetor to try to illustrate. Directly under this bolt, there's a little tower. And if you get a very skinny, straight-bladed screwdriver, you can reach down in that tower and unscrew a brass piece that's about the size of the threads on a very small bolt. In fact, the piece that comes out is about the size of this. It has a notch in the top and has a hole through the middle. I took a piece of wire and baling wire was too big. I had to use a piece of welding wire, and I punched that hole out, and then I squirted some carburetor cleaner through it to make sure that air was passing through it. I put it all back together, and that fixed that leak. Now I will put this back together with this piece and this piece, but I'm just going to start it now so you can see it run. It might require me to operate the choke a little bit. The other thing that used to happen is every time I would cut this off, it would backfire. Just about the time it stopped running, I'd get a very loud bang. Now what I was doing here is I was just seeing if this adjustment would change anything, because once that breather is up on here, you can hardly get to that to adjust it. So So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unbolt this. I'm going to put this part back on and this part back on, and she should be good to go and ready to go mow some grass. So that's what we're going to do next. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you, every one of you. I hope that helped somebody. I was right to the point where I was fixing to go online and start searching YouTube for a fix. And this fix may work on some other lawnmower type carburetors. So it may be something that you can use on something else. But I hope that was helpful to you. And I thank you for hanging out with me. Have a nice day.